Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by green fields, there lived a poor man named Jaafar. Jaafar had an old gray donkey named Hamoor, who was his best friend. Every day, Jaafar would load up his donkey with goods he collected from the farm and take them to the market to sell. Hamoor always helped him, carrying heavy sacks of grain, vegetables, and fruits on his back. However, Jaafar noticed that even after a long day of work, Hamoor always returned home full of energy, eager to play and still strong enough to carry more goods if needed. All the other donkeys in the village would be exhausted, barely able to walk by the end of the day. So Jaafar couldn't understand why Hamoor was always so energetic. One day, Jaafar decided to find out what was going on. One early morning before sunrise, he woke up with an idea. Instead of joining Hamoor in the stable, Jaafar put on his jacket and followed his donkey outside. As Hamoor started walking away from the house, Jaafar walked behind him, trying not to make any noise. He tiptoed as quietly as he could, hiding behind trees and bushes to keep following his donkey. And then Jaafar saw something that shocked him. Hamoor lifted his ears and closed his eyes. In the blink of an eye, a whirlwind of golden dust swirled beneath him and disappeared. When Jaafar looked up, he saw that Hamoor had vanished. The donkey reappeared in the field where they had to start their work. But that wasn't the surprising part. When Jaafar peeked from behind the tree, he witnessed something unbelievable. Hamoor was moving heavy sacks of grain that were almost as big as him without touching them. The sacks just floated through the air and landed perfectly in the cart as if someone had put them there on purpose. Jaafar stood frozen, his mouth wide open in shock. He couldn't believe his eyes. "By the stars," he whispered. "Hamoor has magical powers." He continued to watch in amazement as Hamoor effortlessly moved the rest of the goods into the cart. Even the water from the well seemed to pour itself into the fields. A small rainbow appeared in the air, and Hamoor chuckled softly. He was using his magic to do all the work for Jaafar, and he was enjoying it. When Jaafar realized that Hamoor was done, he stepped out from behind the tree with a big smile on his face. "I knew you were smart," he said to his donkey, "but I never imagined you were magical." Hamoor laughed in a funny hee-haw sound and flicked his tail. Bright sparks flew into the air, and he trotted to Jaafar as if to say, "Your secret is safe with me." From that day on, Jaafar and Hamoor became an unstoppable team. Jaafar never told anyone about Hamoor's powers, and Hamoor continued using his magic to help his friend. They worked hard during the day, but when the sun went down and the stars twinkled in the sky, it was time for fun. With Hamoor's help, Jaafar would have the best adventures. They explored deep and dark caves filled with treasures, swam across sparkling rivers, and climbed tall mountains to reach hidden waterfalls. Sometimes they would visit the neighboring villages, and Jaafar would leave Hamoor outside while he went shopping. But they always made sure to come back before sunset, because that's when Hamoor's magic started to fade. Jaafar knew his friend needed rest, and he didn't want Hamoor to get tired or hurt himself. As the years passed, Jaafar and Hamoor grew old together. Their friendship was unbreakable, and they faced everything together, sharing happiness and sadness. One night, while lying next to each other under the starry sky, Jaafar told Hamoor how grateful he was to have such a special donkey in his life. He thanked Hamoor for all the adventures, the laughter, and the love they shared. Hamoor listened patiently, and when Jaafar finished, he nudged his friend with his nose, as if to say, "You're welcome." Then he closed his eyes and leaned against Jaafar, feeling very happy. Jaafar stroked Hamoor's soft fur, and they stayed in silence for a while, enjoying each other's company. Suddenly, Hamoor lifted his head and looked at Jaafar with his big brown eyes. "I have a gift for you," he said in a gentle voice. Jaafar was surprised because Hamoor didn't often speak. He usually preferred to communicate with a funny hee-haw sound. But now his donkey was telling him he had a gift. "What kind of gift?" Jaafar asked, his eyes shining with curiosity. "Close your eyes," Hamoor replied, and put your hand on my back." Jaafar did as he was told, and Hamoor started to glow. A warm light surrounded Jaafar, and he felt a surge of energy flowing through him. He opened his eyes and gasped. In front of him, Hamoor was disappearing, turning into a ball of golden light. "Hamoor! What are you doing?" Jaafar cried, worried about his friend. "This is my true form," Hamoor explained. "I'm not just a donkey. I'm a magical creature from another world. I came here a long time ago, and I chose to stay as a donkey until I found someone special to be my friend." The ball of light floated above Jaafar, and he reached out to touch it. "But why me?" he asked, feeling confused. "You are kind, honest, and brave," Hamoor said. "I knew we would become great friends the moment I saw you. You accepted me as I was, and you never asked questions. You just loved me for who I am. That's why I want to give you this gift." As the light faded, Hamoor's form became clearer. His eyes sparkled like stars, and his mane flowed around him like a golden river. "I want you to have my magic," Hamoor said. "With this power, you can help others and make their dreams come true. But remember, magic is not just about power, it's also about love, kindness, and friendship." Tears filled Jaafar's eyes as he understood what was happening. Hamoor was giving him his magic, and that meant he wouldn't be able to stay with his donkey anymore. But Jaafar was honored and grateful for the trust and love Hamoor had for him. He hugged his friend tightly, whispering, "Thank you, Hamoor. I will use your magic wisely and make you proud." When they pulled away, Hamoor nuzzled Jaafar's cheek and said, "You already have my magic inside you, Jaafar. You just need to believe in yourself and have faith in your abilities." Jaafar felt a warm feeling spread through his heart. He knew Hamoor was right. He didn't need any magic to help others. He already had the power within him. At that moment, Jaafar realized that his friendship with Hamoor had given him the greatest gift of all, the belief in himself. He knew he couldn't keep Hamoor's secret forever. The world needed to know about the magical creatures living among us, and he wanted to share his experiences with everyone. So Jaafar sat down and started to write a story about his adventures with Hamoor. He wrote about the amazing places they visited, the challenges they faced, and most importantly, the love and friendship they shared. He titled it, "The Magical Donkey," and when he finished, he took it to the village elder, who everyone trusted to keep important stories safe. Jaafar hoped that one day his story would be passed down to future generations, reminding them that magic is all around us if we only believe in it. As the sun rose the next morning, Jaafar went to the field to say goodbye to Hamoor. He knew his friend wouldn't be staying in his donkey form anymore, but he hoped they would still be able to see each other. When Jaafar arrived in the field, he found Hamoor waiting for him. The donkey had returned to his true form, and he looked happier than ever. "It's time to go," Hamoor said with a gentle smile. "Where are you going?" Jaafar asked, feeling sad. "To many places," Hamoor replied. "I want to explore the world and help those in need. But don't worry about me. We will meet again someday." Jaafar nodded, understanding that this was Hamoor's true destiny. He knew his friend would use his magic for good, and he was proud of him. They spent the entire day together, exploring new places and having fun. In the evening, when the stars twinkled in the sky, it was time to say goodbye. "I will never forget you, Hamoor," Jaafar whispered, tears in his eyes, "and I will always cherish the time we spent together." Hamoor nuzzled Jaafar one last time, and then he vanished, leaving behind a faint glow and the sound of a gentle hee-haw. Jaafar stood there watching, his heart filled with gratitude and love for his extraordinary friend. As the years passed, Jaafar continued to live in the village. He shared his story about Hamoor with everyone, inspiring them to believe in the magic of friendship and the kindness of strangers. And whenever he looked up at the stars, he knew that somewhere out there, his magical donkey was having new adventures, bringing joy and wonder to all who crossed his path.